everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Wow Wednesday. For today's Wow Wednesday, I'm going to be using 2 stamp sets and some dies. First off is the Oceanfront, and the second one is On the Horizon. Now, both of these were in the January to June 2022 mini catalog. Oceanfront is carrying over and is going to also be available in our current annual catalog, but On the Horizon is retiring. So neither the stamp set or the dies are on sale, so you would be best off to go ahead and order this On the Horizon as a bundle, and you can find that on page 43 of the January to June mini catalog. And that is $50.25. And you know, you've seen this, I've used it already before, and I love the dies that are in here, the beautiful wave dies. I had made that really cool card with it one before, and the fences and things like that. So there's some also awesome pieces in there, and I wouldn't pass up on getting that if you haven't gotten it already. And the other stamp set we're going to be using, as I stated, is Oceanfront. And Oceanfront doesn't have any dies to go along with it. It doesn't have any punches or anything, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be making some masculine cards tonight for Father's Day. So I thought about, you know, being down the ocean and having some Father's Day, it being June and summertime, that I would go ahead and try to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with stamping my sky, and I'm using Pale Papaya, and that is a current in color that is from 21 to 23, so you can still purchase that. And I'm also using Sweet Sorbet. Now with Sweet Sorbet, I am actually only wanting to cover part of it, but I don't really want it to be a real straight line. So I'm sort of moving it around a little bit. And then I want to take a piece of scrap paper. And I'm experimenting with this. I haven't done it yet, but I want to take off just a little bit of ink. I don't want it to be real dark. And I also want to move it around a little bit because I don't want a real straight line there. So I'm hoping taking this little Post-it note and just moving that around, I won't have a real big line. And we'll see how that works. So I want to stay up towards the top of my paper because this, as I stated, is going to be my sky. Evening sky at sunset. Okay. Then I'm going to take my blending brushes. Oh no, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that yet. I actually am going to ink this up some more. So let me clean it off. And then I am going to add some more of the Pale Papaya because I want more of the orange than I do the Sweet Sorbet color. So I'm just going to keep inking this up and stamping over it to give myself some more of the orange in the sky with just a little bit of the red. I'm also going to take my blending brush, again with the Pale Papaya, and I'm going to blend that in some. And I'm sorry for shaking the table. I know that's doing that. But I want to blend this a little bit more. To make that a prettier sky. I'm trying to stay in the lines there. And then I am going to stamp my water. And I will be using the stamp from Oceanfront and Tahitian Tide. And again, I just want a very light touch to it. And this has an angle to sort of get some sand involved in there that we're going to come back and do. And then we're going to come in with our sand. And this is a third piece from the Oceanfront. And this is angled again. So you can go right along there. Now I want to make the beach all the way across. And then I have the small little speckled stamps that is also in the Oceanfront stamp set. I want to stamp off first, and then I'm going to make some specks across the bottom. And changing the direction as well, just to have some speckled sand. Then one more thing I'm going to do, and again, this is a little experiment. I saw something and I really liked it. I'm going to try to do the same thing, just inking up the very edge. If you could see that, just the very top edge. Sorry if I was out of the camera. Just the very top edge of the sand. And I want to give it a little bit of darker line in certain places. So again, just the edge, and to come up here and give some darker lines in the sand. See how that's doing that? I like the way that looks. I love it. Okay, so I did get a little bit of ink right there. Let me see if I have one of my erasers handy. See if we can get that off. Sorry for shaking the table. I know that this is going to shake the table. Can't do it too hard because our Whisper White's kind of thin. But we can live with that. As I say that, I really want to see it gone, but I don't know if it's going to happen. So as you can see, we all make little mistakes. That came up off the edge of my stamp when I was trying to do the darker color there. So now I have some Post-it notes, and one is a straight edge, and I'm going to put that right at the line there where the water meets the sky. And then I'm going to bring in the sun, and I'm going to use my blending brushes, which I absolutely love, and I'm going to darken where the sun is setting. Again, I apologize for shaking the table. Now, I'm going to try to make that just a tad bit darker. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of the Sweet Sorbet, and I'm going to just come in right off the edge there. And see that sunset? Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. So that was the Sweet Sorbet and the Pale Papaya, which are both in colors from 2 different years. And then I want to add some grasses, and I'm going to do that using Bermuda Bay. And that one there. And then I'm going to bring some smaller ones over here. There we have those two. And we're going to add some of the embellishments that are the little stones. I have the sea glass and the faux rocks somewhere here. I must have dropped them. Nope, there they are. So we have our take your pick tool, and I have my glue, and then I'm going to add the fencing from the On the Horizon bundle. And one of the cool things I've seen other people do, since I'm going to be sending this in the mail, I'm not going to do it, but I've seen people who have pinched the fence when they glued it down and not glue all the pieces so that it stands out. And what I mean is like taking and gluing just this piece and this piece, and then it would stand up. Can you see that? So if I just glued those two pieces down, but I really don't want all that on here. I just want a little bit of this fence, but that was what I was trying to show you with that. So I'm just going to cut off two pieces of the fencing, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it on this side. That's a little too big. Let me use the other piece. Let's see what it looks like. I think that'll be good. So we'll just take a little bit of our glue again. I love our liquid glue. And that's going to help to cover up that little mark. Just perfectly there. Just pull that right over to the edge of my cardstock. And then we'll add our faux rocks. Now, these are retiring, so if you don't have these and you want them, you're going to want to get them before the end of June. Or don't wait, because we don't know how they're going to sell out. Once these items are gone, they're gone for good. And then maybe two more over here. And these really, really stick well. So when you place them down, don't try to move them, because they really do adhere nicely. I love that. They stick on so well and they stay there. So now with this one here, we could add a sentiment, or we could leave it the way it is. I think I'm going to leave it, but I will show you some other ideas that I've had. Now this piece of basic white was 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I'm layering that onto a piece of Tahitian tie, and that is 1/4 of an inch smaller than our card base. That is going to go onto Starry Sky as our card base. And that is 8.5 by 5.5 to make our regular card base. And then here is our beautiful sunset with our faux rocks. And I think that's a nice masculine card. I think that would be great for Father's Day if you wanted to add Father's Day to it. Now, here's another one that I did, and I added the birds to it. So there's a couple of options here. And on this one here, I actually ran the fence through the textured embossing folder to give it a little bit of dimension. So just showing you that. And this I put on the Sweet Sorbet as the card base. And then there's one more that I did. And this one I was using some different grasses. And I used the sea glass here as well. Hopefully you can see that pretty little sea glass. That is carrying over, so that will be available. But our rocks are not. They are retiring. And they're while supplies last. So there are the 3 cards that we made today. And don't forget, for my Well Wednesdays, you need to like and comment to have a chance to win 2 of these cards. So like and comment on today's Well Wednesday, and that gives you the chance to have a chance to win the 2 cards from the video. So remember that the January to June mini catalog is retiring at the end of this month, so only items available in there are while supplies last and up to June 30th. A lot of the things have carried over. If you didn't catch last week's Well Wednesday, I did do a tour through the catalog, so you might want to take a look at that, and then you can see what's actually retiring. And our new catalog is out. Hopefully you have that in your hands. If not, feel free to give me a call and we'll make sure that you do get it in your hands. And that is good to have. It is good through, it started in May, so it's going to go through the end of April 2023. If you have any questions or need any help with anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks so much for joining Stamp with Tracy today. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye-bye.